Today's show is brought to you by Masters Touch Tours, the finest of service, the fairest of price. And by Skin Perfection. We help people defy aging.
Speaking with us in the studio right now, we have Bradley Beauchamp, and he is running for Congress, District 1, and we are talking about his issues, his platform. Bradley, welcome. Thanks for talking to us. The decision to do this.
That's always a good one. It's a good start.
Just kind of laid down like a bomb.
When you guys say that.
I think it's because politics are so difficult, much different than they were even 20 years ago.
Yes.
It is.
15. There's so many issues.
It is. It is. I was supposed to have Sunday off, and it turned out I didn't. I drove to Graham County and spent about 4 hours putting up signs, and so what was supposed to be my day off ended up turning into another 8 or 9, 10-hour day. So it is. It's clearly the most difficult thing that I've done. And when I went to law school, I worked full time. I worked 40 hours a week, and this is much more difficult.
Issues. To say which is the most important issue, we have about 5 fronts in the state of Arizona and in the nation that are crumbling before our eyes. Of course, immigration, the health care bill, the war in Afghanistan. Just pick them, and you have a full-time calendar right there. Immigration in Arizona, of course, is the number one.
Right, and I came out in favor of 1070 while it was still being argued in the state Senate. Mm-hmm. I called people down there and said, "You've got to pass this." My campaign manager, I said, "I'm going to go public. I'm going to support 1070 while it's still being argued," and he actually told me, "You may be committing political suicide," because nobody knew what the outcome was going to be. And I told him, I said, "That's the problem right now in America. People are too worried about the next political election and aren't doing what's right and aren't doing what they should be doing." I said 1070 is right. I said it needs to be passed. We need to move forward. We need to put national attention on the crisis that we have in Arizona with our border. And so I came out and was in favor of 1070 at that time.
And Bradley, there's still not much movement on it, to be honest with you. From a federal level, the state is trying to step up. Why does it take so long, and what would you do differently, if you would do anything differently right now with the illegal immigration issue?
Well, I think the reason why you're seeing everybody move slow on the illegal immigration at the federal level is because, I don't know if you're aware of this, but all 435 people in the U.S. House are up for re-election.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're looking at an election year. We're this close to the primaries. The general election's a little over 100 days out. And so I think what you're seeing is Washington saying, maybe we should just wait until November 3rd. And then we'll move forward with a little more expediency on closing the border, because nobody wants to irritate different groups of people within the state of Arizona and nationally. And so I think that's why you're seeing a lot of feet dragging at this point.
And of the 400 that you spoke about, probably 20 have read the bill.
If even that many did. Everybody comes up for re-election in the House every 2 years, and I think that's why you're seeing so much feet draggings, because people are right now, they're scrambling. There's a lot of concern in Washington that there's going to be a large turnover in the House of Representatives.
Truly will be. Truly.
To your point about, or Tanya's point, I should say, about not reading the bill, you taught civics in government in school. How many in the Congress do you think have even read the Constitution or live by the Constitution right now?
I think a lot of them have probably read the Constitution, and I don't want to go out and speculate as to how many haven't read it. I think that they have forgotten over time, and not just this current legislative body. I think the legislative bodies that have preceded this one have forgotten over time the true intent of the Constitution. The Founding Fathers were intelligent men. They knew exactly where the United States would end up as a nation had you not followed the guidelines and really the rules, because that's what the Constitution is. It's the rule of law. And they put those rules in there for a specific purpose. It was to prevent what we are starting to head towards now, which is a transformation of our government from a democratic republic form of government to what is starting to move more and more towards more of a socialism side type of government.
Bradley, it does seem, though, like they're completely ignoring the Constitution in many respects, and just tossing it out and saying, we're going to create something brand new. We'll just toss the Constitution out.
Well, and you can see that with the judges who are being appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court right now. You had Justice Sotomayor, who came out openly at interviews when she was on the appellate court and said that they make law. And judges don't make law, but she slipped up and said that. And the problem now is we're seeing what they've been termed as activist judges being appointed and put on the United States Supreme Court. And those are the ones who are more likely going to talk about how we need to take international law and apply it towards how our laws should be interpreted here in the United States. That's not your job. Your job is to interpret the law as the Constitution, not as international law or what some other nation across the world has decided that this is the way it needs to be interpreted. And we clearly have gotten away from the Constitution. Congress actually, by their own admission, has said the majority of the laws that they propose and pass, there's no constitutional authority. That is a huge problem in America when you are passing a law that you and I have to follow, and they're not following the law when they pass that law. It doesn't make any sense. So there's a little bit of hypocrisy kind of underlying their actions. I mean, it goes right with if you don't pay your taxes, you could be the Secretary of the Treasury. I mean, if you hide $500,000 in a bank account, you get to be the congressman who drafts the tax code that we all have to follow.
But you know what? Having said all of that, we always point fingers. We're close and very quick to say fault. If we wanted to say fault, it falls with the American people.
Absolutely. It does.
We have allowed this to happen. Bradley, why have we allowed this to happen?
Well, we've been fighting, I always tell people, we've been fighting a political war in this country really for about the last 100 years, and it's a war being fought between Republicans and Democrats. When a Democrat's in office, they point at the Republicans. When Republicans are in office, they point at the Democrats. And and the only casualties have been the American people caught in the middle. You and I, the people who just want a representative form of government. And the reason we allow it is because the people, American people, haven't been vigilant, and vigilance is the price of liberty. And we haven't been vigilant. We haven't spent a lot of time researching our candidates. Everybody's at fault for that, myself included. When I was younger, I didn't spend a lot of time really looking into the candidates. And we allow ourselves to vote for the person who runs the most TV ads, the most radio, the most signs, and raises the most money. And we don't ask the question, where is the money coming from? Where is this money coming from? Absolutely. Well, not just out of our pockets. Most of it comes from out of the state of Arizona. I'm proud to say that 95% of the money that I've raised for my campaign has come from Congressional District 1 in Arizona. And the 5% that hasn't has been my parents and my brother who's in the Marine Corps stationed in California, currently serving overseas.
Bradley, hold on to your thoughts. We're coming back to you.
But first, Tanya's going to let you know if you have problems with your skin, any problem at all, Tanya has the solution, or at least the answer.
Well, I like to think I have the solution. Of course, I like to think I have answers to everything, but Lord knows I don't. Aging is a collection of our experiences or memories. It has been said, but I don't know about you, but I don't want those experiences and memories written on my face. I want to hide all that. Skin Perfection will help you do that. In lieu of surgery, they have procedures that will help you look very, very good. In fact, fabulous for your age. Check them out, Skin Perfection.